Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Well, hello. It is Miguel and Holly Uncensored minus the Holly. Oh, wait. She just... Oh, wait. Hold on, Holly.
No, I'm right here.
There we go.
Oh, Holly's here.
Holly's here.
The real Holly.
The real Holly. Not the other Holly that's in Miami and not white.
What? What?
All right, Holly. How you doing?
I just had the craziest ass blast from the past happen.
Oh.
Ooh.
Bizarre.
All right. Well, hold on. We're going to get into that. First, we just want to say hello to everyone watching on the Miguel and Holly YouTube channel, to Miguel and Holly Facebook page, and listening later on. You can always rewatch it or re-listen anywhere you listen to podcasts. And so on Fridays, and especially once we get more into the fall, we're going to start to feature more really cool Charlotte things that are exciting to us, like we have in the past. But I saw this in one of the local newsletters that we get, and I was like, we have got to talk to these ladies because this sounds like such a cool story.
Yeah.
Let me add them here. And the technology right now.
I'm so glad we are like visually adding, not just on phone too, by the way.
Right. All right. Let me add them. Look at that. We got all four. Yes. All right. I would like you to meet Tony and Christy from CLT Find. Welcome to the podcast, guys. Welcome.
Hi, guys. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having us. We just said we would never be able to figure out this little shindig you have going from everywhere that you are. Yeah.
Listen, it is held by a shoestring. So I'm in our studio in Charlotte on, what is it called? My mind is just gone. It's been so much. Anyway, I'm in Charlotte. Holly's in Tampa. Kelvin's in Miami. And then you all are in your new store, CLT Find. So we are checking in from all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Before we get to your store, CLT Find, can you, Christy, explain to me about what you just told me about your son?
Yeah. So, hey, Holly, I wanted to let you guys know that I went home after you emailed me, Miguel, and I walked in the door, and I have a 10-year-old son, Bennett. I have a 6-year-old daughter, Vivian. And I was like, hey, Bennett, every day when you ride to school in the morning or when you go to camp, he's always with his dad in the car because his dad's early morning. I'm more like night owl. So they get that time together in the morning. And I was like, you always tell me, what you guys are listening to and talking about in the car. I was like, what's that radio station that you like the best? And he's like, Miguel and Holly. And I was like, yeah. I was like, well, tell me about Miguel and Holly. He's like, duh, the hum game. He's like, I'm super good at the hum game. He's like, let me show you. And he starts doing some Lizzo. Of course, I can't tell what he's doing. And he's like, so I'm walking out the door this morning. And I was like, all right, everybody have a great day. Give me a hug. Wish me luck. And he's like, you're going to tell them about me, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to tell them about you. And he was like, so I mean, less about CLT Find, more about me. He's like, tell them. He's like, well, I promise you I'm not raising conceited children. He's like, tell them I want to be on the hum game. Tell them I will win the hum game. He's like, and I also just want you to tell them that yesterday Dad made me change the channel because they were talking about some pants or like a relationship thing, and it was like inappropriate. He said,
good on you, Dad. High five. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know what you guys are talking about. We're not like super helicopter parents. Unfortunately, I think he probably gets exposed to real world scenarios, but he's a big fan. So you got that 10-year-old audience. You got that 10-year-old audience on lock, guys.
Tell them thank you, first of all, for being like promoters of our show.
Right?
Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah.
We need a shout out for Bennett over here. Oh, we love it. Well, thank you. And you know what? That's really cool to hear because just like you all are starting this adventure with your store, CLT Find, which, by the way, you all are opening in 30 minutes, your very first day, which is so cool. We just started in March. And so this has been an adventure for us. We were in Tampa doing our show, and probably 98% of the people that are in our what we call our platypus posse listening and watching right now are from our Tampa fam and Panama City and all the other places we've been. So we're just like you all. starting new, starting fresh, trying to build a brand. And so I feel like it was so perfect to have the two of you on and sort of hear your story and how, well, first off, what is CLT Find and how did you all come to open here on July 15th?
You want to go? What is CLT Find?
So CLT Find is basically exactly what it sounds like. So CLT is the airport code for Charlotte. So we want people to come in our store and be exposed to all sorts of Charlotte makers. So we carry over 90 different Charlotte and North Carolina makers items, everything from apparel to souvenir type stuff, glassware, mugs, etc. And we have a little store inside 7th Street Market uptown, which is a very like touristy kind of store. We sell lots of magnets and shot glasses, and we wanted to branch out. And so we're in the Dilworth area, and we're excited to kind of showcase more Charlotte stuff that's not just
branded
touristy.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Like, so basically I feel like when you walk in 7th Street Public Market and you're visiting Charlotte for the first time, and we get international guests and, you know, people from California all over, and they really want to take home a piece of Charlotte. So like a t-shirt that says Charlotte, a little keychain, a magnet. And while we love being of service in that area, there's also so many just incredibly talented local artists, jewelry designers, candle makers, you know, people that are doing like macrame weavings and all sorts of like different, you know, different mediums of makers. And so we're able to have a more diverse selection in the Dilworth shop that's not just catered around tourism, if that makes sense.
So what sort of items will you find in the CLT Find store?
A little bit of everything. I mean, we have some good wall space in here, unlike our little store uptown. So we have a lot of really cool local art, lots of candles, lots of
around to see what I could grab, or I will just look around. So like tons of jewelry, tons of bracelets. We have everything, you know, jewelry that ranges from like $15 up to like $200, because, you know, depending on like what the materials are. Lots of accessories. We've added in this store exclusively a plant line. So we have a local like house plant connoisseur, Veronica, with Verde Tribe. And so we have probably like 100 plants in the shop. We have women's boutique clothing from another local vendor, which we don't have space for uptown. So you can come buy like a cute sundress. You can get like a jean jacket, you know, graphic t-shirt. But we also have a lot of food. So if you want a taste of Charlotte, we have like Charlotte made like sauces and honeys and jams and like, I've been snacking on these. These are our newest. They're called Piedmont Pennies, and they're like cheese wafers. This is our sample bag, but they're packaged so cute, and peanuts and
lots of gift. Like we already are doing a lot of like realtor gifts and things like that, and so we really want to expand that a lot more too. You know, like a taste of Charlotte gift kind of.
I love that. It's
what
so
a great,
awesome.
Amazingly local, like everything local, right in one spot.
Yeah. Now I'm curious, Tony and Christy, are you two from Charlotte?
I grew up in Hickory, like an hour away, and moved to Charlotte after college.
Okay.
So,
yeah, and I'm a little bit of the same story. I grew up in Eastern North Carolina, just east of Raleigh. I got my first job here in 2004. So we've both been in Charlotte for like going on 20 years. And I think obviously it's home for us. And like we said, we source some of our makers from the Carolinas. So you've got people down in like South Carolina, also like Western North Carolina, Eastern North Carolina. So it's not just Charlotte, it's kind of regional.
That's awesome. So what would you say, as you know, we're getting to know the city, just moving here, what is Charlotte? Now, I'm going to let you think about that for a second. And I'm going to say also, as a person, you know, being in radio, you sort of move around a lot, you know. So I'm originally from Atlanta. So I would say, you know, Atlanta's the Hollywood of the South. You know, that was the, or, you know, lots of, there was another term like with Black people growing up that we used to use that I can't remember. So like we lived, Holly and I, in Panama City, and that was back then the Redneck Riviera. And now they've tried to like get away from that title. Whereas when we first got to Tampa, I feel like they were trying to figure out what their identity was. And now it's slowly coming into this like metropolis of Florida that's like this hidden gem that people didn't know about. So does Charlotte, is it known for something, or is it like on its way to finding out what it is?
Ooh, that's tricky. Well, I think it's such a transplant city and such a banking city that it's so diverse and changing. Like, it has changed so much from, the time that both of us moved here until now. I don't know.
I guess, like, I'll come at it from a little bit of different perspective. So, like, way back when, over 20 years ago, I went to college at Chapel Hill. And I came from this really small town in North Carolina that had one high school. And so I go to college and I meet all these people. They're all from Charlotte, but they all went to 20 or 30 different high schools. And so I like kind of got this view of Charlotte, and I thought, oh God, this is this like elite place, and it's so big, and it's just this. And when I moved here, I feel like I've kind of morphed. I do think that people love the name Queen City. I do think there is some kind of like pride and like royalty almost. And I think if you're from Charlotte and you still live in Charlotte, you have this like great sense of like, this is my home. This is such a regal, wonderful place. But like Tony said, it's a transplant city as well. And so I love that it's growing in to the diversity, and it's growing into like the melting pot, and it's growing into like, celebrating small businesses and people that are coming, whether they're coming from out of state or they're coming from out of the country, and they're bringing like their personal twist and like showcasing like their food, what they make, like what's important to them. I think that's just important to have that, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that you stumbled onto something, growing in diversity. Yeah. I love that.
And it is. I mean, I do feel like Charlotte sort of, when I was growing up an hour away and I would come to Charlotte, it just felt like a little bit bigger Hickory, where I'm from. And now it feels more like a real city, like a more diverse population. And it's
that's
fun.
I feel like I've
part of it.
Yeah, like I've experienced that where I've had a few people slide up in my DMs on Instagram and they're like, I'm sorry, you're Black and gay and you have a white husband. Y'all have a morning show here in Charlotte? What? They were like, I'm so proud that my city would be able to house something like that, where they feel like growing up, this would have not been possible, 20, 15 years ago. So I think you're speaking to how much it's changed and why the people that decided to bring us on because, we want to reflect the community that Charlotte is turning into. So that's so awesome.
Well, how long have you guys been here? Because I guess I didn't do my homework, but I didn't know. I just thought I've been here. I see Miguel and Holly come up on my radio station. So you're like brand new kind of to the Charlotte?
Since March.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying the podcast was like since March, but it's like the radio hosting is since March.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Super new in the terms of radio shows that have been in town.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think you hit on an interesting point. I don't want to, get too much into this, but my son I was talking about looks like a little mini me. He's white and blonde, but I do have a Black daughter. She's adopted, but it's different. Like it's different, like being like a mixed race family. I'm sure you'll say it's different being like a mixed race couple. It feels normal to me, but I'm glad that I can raise her in a city where I don't think she doesn't feel out of place in our family. Like it feels pretty normal. Like we can find other families that look like us. We can, nobody bats an eye and is very, very accepting. So I don't know if it would have been like that 20 years ago. Yeah. I don't know if it would have been like that 10 years ago. I really don't know. So.
But here we are now. Glad to be here.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, that just gives me all the goosebumps right there. I love that we can be a part of the future of the city and sort of help, preach the gospel about it. Before we let you all go, is there anything else that you'd want someone to know about CLT Find?
We want you to come see us and see what it's about. Yeah, we want you to come to see us in person and like touch and feel the goods. We want you to have pride in your city. I think like my husband told me last night, this is pretty vulnerable, but it's like midnight and I was sitting on the couch and I was like, I'm so nervous about tomorrow. And he's like, but you've opened a store before and you've had this business for like 6 years and you've done other things. And I was like, I know, but it's so important to me and to Tony. And we're representing these like 90 local makers and these people, and we want them to be successful. Like, it's not just about us, because if you buy a piece from the shop, it benefits like more than one entity. And he said, well, you know, if it makes you feel better, he's like, you know, watching you guys do this has changed my mindset about buying. And he shared a little story. And so he's really into biking, mountain biking, like outdoor stuff. And he was like, you know, a couple of years ago, I would walk into a local bike shop owned by local people, just like you and Tony, and I would try on like a pair of bike shorts or like a jersey shirt, and I would look at the price tag, and I would go home and Google if I could get it cheaper online, right? And that's what a lot of people do. Like, you go into a running shop. We have a dear friend that owns a running shop, Run for Your Life, and you would go in there and you might try on a pair of On tennis shoes and then go home and Google and see if you can get it like a little bit cheaper. But really, not benefiting your city, your community, or the people that you're interacting with day to day. So if you can just gather the mindset that like you might save 10% by going home and Googling, but you were able to go touch it and feel it like in the shop and know that you liked it. So I don't know, we just want people to kind of like gear towards what does it mean to you to support local. And when you come here and when you shop with us, you know, you really are supporting like a whole like entity and community.
Yeah,
So.
we have some really, really cool makers. And so it's fun to also kind of introduce those people to the community.
Yeah, it's like you all are creating this ecosystem of collaborative efforts where you all are going to grow together.
Yeah.
And so when y'all all have these big old boats on Lake Norman, y'all can invite us out.
All right.
Miguel, looking for a boat friend.
Always looking for a boat friend. I always just sort of float that out there somehow, girl. So, well, Tony Christie, congratulations. I can't wait to get over there and touch and feel and buy and purchase. Congratulations. Y'all are now 16 minutes away from opening up doors.
Y'all, thank you so much. Y'all are lovely. If you ever need a home game participant or a local gift basket or a t-shirt that says Charlotte.
Absolutely. Maybe we'll do something with the podcast where we will get some of our new Charlotte fam and do some sort of giveaway on the podcast from CLT Fine, and
we'll make that happen.
That'd be cool.
All right. Well, we're tuned in to Miguel and Holly.
Yes.
We've got new listeners. We're going to tell everybody. We love it.
Awesome. I love it. Well, finally, when Kelvin is here and we're all one big threesome here, awkward, we will make sure to come by the store, take a picture, and post it on our Instagram.
Oh, we would love that. All right. Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Oh, that's so awesome.
Man, I can't wait to go to that store.
I know. I'm so excited. I'm like, I wish I could go today. We got like a million things happening this weekend, but I really want to go by.
I know.
Candles.
I know, right?
I want some of that art. I want some of that honey. I love local honey.
I want some local honey, girl. I saw some comments coming in. Laura Top Life said, Charlotte and the Carolinas have changed so much in that regard in 30 years, Miguel and Holly, since I used to spend summers there with my great grandma and great aunt. Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that. Yeah. And then Doe-I said it's worth it to spend a little more to put back into the community. Jason said, congrats, CLT. And then Zinda said, do they have a site? I love supporting local. Well, that's a good question. We'll have to take a look. Let me.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Google.
A little.
I would just Google that.
CLT Fine.
Google Moogle.
Oh, wait. I know they do because that's how I contacted them.
Oh.
Yeah. It's just dumb, Miguel. CLTFind.com.
FIND.
Yep. And CLTFIND. So cool. All right. What's going on?
You're like, well,
girl, I've been running a million miles a minute since. So let me just tell you how just like crazy it's been today. So got here, putting the show together, going. Been sort of showing Kelvin, you know, like all the behind the scenes stuff to.
That's like, been a lot.
Get you up to speed. And so Abe is going to Frugal MacDoogal, which
can we talk about the fact that it's called Frugal MacDoogal. Like, why does that sound like it's next door to the Acme factory?
So, Frugal MacDoogal. So, what we've learned here is that in North Carolina, the liquor stores are owned by the state.
Yeah.
So, you know how, like in Florida, you have different liquor stores, package stores, even
Everywhere.
in Publix or Walgreens,
Yeah.
they have liquor
Right.
stores. Here,
Yeah.
it's only owned by the state. So, the prices are state controlled, and so they can be a little
Mhm.
high sometimes. But in Charlotte, we live like 10 minutes away from the South Carolina border. And like literally right over the border, there's this big old warehouse of alcohol called Frugal MacDoogal. And it has this Irish man on it with a little pouch. And he's just like, come on out to Frugal MacDoogal and we'll get your prices low.
Holy shit. In the Carolinas.
No.
Come on down to Frugal MacDoogal. Come and get you some alcohol.
What fucking accent is that?
So, Kelvin, one thing you'll learn about me, I'm really, really bad at accents. So,
I was like, cultural appropriation. But there was nothing cultural about that. No culture in that. I don't know what that was.
We don't-
Baby.
We don't know what culture.
it's a mixture of everything. As Holly wipes the tears away.
Sorry, I just. No, that's the thing. I thought the Mick whatevers, that was Scottish. Like
Is
Irish
it?
people aren't Mick. It's more Scottish people that are Mick. I know this because such a random thing, but when I first started in radio, they made me take a different last name. So I was Holly McKenzie. And I was doing this remote and I'm like 22 years old and some guy came out. He's like, oh, now do you know the Mackenzies in Scotland? And I was like, I don't. And he was like, let me tell you about your Scottish ancestry.
Oh no.
You're like, sir.
I
this
wanted to
is-
be like,
no.
stop.
No.
But I couldn't break character. I had to pretend that I was a Mackenzie. But I'm really an O'Connor. I want to be like, you're on the wrong country. I'm Irish.
Sorry.
So anyway, I learned a lot that the Mick whatevers are often Scottish and that my whatever is usually Irish. So there's not a whole lot of Mick whatevers, I don't think, in Ireland. It's normally Scotland. But why do I such a
I should
freaking
know
stupid
that.
piece of information?
No, but I should know this from being a fan of Outlander, the show, and I love the Scottish people, and I still on my bucket list to do an Outlander tour in Scotland.
Yeah.
But-
You missed it. Apparently, this was the year to go to Scotland if you were ever going to go. I had 3 friends in Scotland this summer.
Oh.
Separate. They don't even know each other. Everyone went to like Europe this summer, and I'm over here working.
That's fine. I'm going, when I go, James Fraser is going to be there. And
I
It's going to
understand.
be great.
Man.
So anyway, Frugal MacDoogal.
Anyway,
Yes.
back to
It's this big old warehouse.
yeah.
And I've been so crazy today. Abe was like, what do you want me to pick up? And I was like, can you get me like a little bottle of Grey Goose? That's just for me. And then can you get the other thing that we get, the big bottle that we get for people, the other alcohol?
What do we get for people?
This is how frazzled I am today. I was like, the thing, the one that we get for the vodka. And he was like, what are you saying? And I'm like, Sam, her husband is a rapper. He goes, Tito's? And I was like, I need to go home.
Oh no,
I
you
need to
couldn't think
go.
of Tito's.
I literally could
You
not think of
fried,
Tito's.
girl.
I'm done. So yeah,
So you been a little crazy.
I'm gonna be
Wait.
ready.
I got to tell you the story of who I just talked to on the phone.
Oh yeah, who?
This crazy blast from the past. So the reason I was late hopping in, I don't know, you probably did a little shuffle before I got on here, tap dance while I was on the phone. Long behind the scenes story at iHeart Radio. Like obviously I'm in Tampa, Miguel's in Charlotte. But in order to see like the computer, I don't know if you can like turn it. Actually, I will turn it. Here's what it looks like. Like that's
That's the station.
That's the station.
And that's what I'm seeing right now in Charlotte. And Holly can see it.
And I can see it because I have a computer in here in Tampa that like, it's called like you remotely view in.
Right.
So like I'm able to remotely view Miguel's screen from Tampa so we can be on the same page with what song is playing, where we know exactly when things are lining up. Well, the way that happens is changing at iHeart. And so it's been a little bit discombobulated because what iHeart does with engineering, every cluster has its own engineer or multiple engineers. But in order to help things go even faster, there's like a hub of engineers that handle virtually all the different requests. You have to put in a ticket, and then like different engineers can help you figure out your difficulties. Right?
It's a big old company.
Huge. And so that's just the lead up to the story. I've been having some issues because like the way that I do it is going to be no longer working very soon. And I need to still see everything. So I have to do a new system. So first, as we're getting ready for the podcast, my mom's neurologist calls, and that was a whole thing. And I'm like, okay. I got to make like 4 phone calls now just to see if I can even get her to an appointment on Tuesday. As that call was ending, and like an 855 number is calling me. I'm like, okay, bye, neurologist, bye. I don't know what this is, but I got to get it. I'm like, hello? And the person on the phone goes, Holly, this is Grant Lewis. Do you remember me? And I was like, yes. So when I first started in radio, I graduated college in 2004. And that's as soon as I graduated, stepped right into Clear Channel Radio, which used to be what iHeart is called. Clear Channel Radio turned into iHeart Radio. So, and Miguel was the same way. Miguel also started with Clear Channel.
And Kelvin, didn't you start with Clear Channel?
My first internship was in this building when it was Clear Channel.
When it was Clear Channel.
About to turn into iHeart.
So many people have walked through the Clear Channel / iHeart, hallways, whatever. So I started with Clear Channel, and this is back in 2004, and I worked in Findlay, Ohio, and it's such a small market that nobody did anything ever, that we didn't have an engineer there. All the big stuff was up in Toledo, which is a bigger-ish market, but still pretty small. Grant Lewis was the engineer in Toledo. So he was my first engineer in radio back in 2004, like got me all set up with everything. And I go, yes, I remember. How do you have my number? Why are you calling? What's going on? He's like, I'm working on your ticket to get you set up with Next Gen.
Oh.
He's one of the hub engineers for iHeart.
Look at that.
And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, what an insane, and I mean, radio is a small business anyway, but like, it just blew my mind. I'm like, this is crazy. He's like, you've done so well since I last saw you 20 years ago almost. And I'm like, I know. I'm like, yes, it was
20 years. Look at that.
Almost, pretty much.
Wow.
So I was just blown away. So here's me working with Grant Lewis, like it's the good old days, trying to figure out Next Gen, like the good old days. It was bizarre. It was such a weird,
it's amazing,
and fun trip back to the past for a minute.
That's like when I was unpacking a few months ago when we got here. And of course, I keep like sentimental little things. And I found my very first paycheck from when I worked at Clear Channel.
I wish I still had mine.
Promotions assistant. And it was like $86.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
Ooh,
Mine
no
was about the
wonder.
same. I worked like 1 to 2 days a week.
I was hungry, girl. I was real hungry back then.
Literally hungry.
No, I was hungry. Kelvin, how are you doing?
I'm honestly having a cough attack. I've been having cough attacks. I've been turning on and off my mics. There's tears in these eyes.
What is happening? Are you
But
okay?
good for the most part. Yeah, I don't know. You guys know, I've been here all day with you guys. So
No, I mean the
know.
coughing.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be dust. I don't know what it is.
It's probably them dusty ass ceiling fans you got in your house.
It might be. No, he cleans his.
We talked about that on the show today. You can go to Miguel and Holly full show anywhere you listen to podcasts. We talked about dusty ceiling fans.
Dusty ass ceiling fans.
And Holly, when was the last time you dusted your ceiling fan?
They have not been dusted. Listen.
Ever. And when were they installed?
4 years ago.
Like half
Abe
your
did it.
daughter's age.
Yes! Yes! God bless!
Clean them for your daughter.
God.
Clean them for Maya, girl.
Now, hold on a fucking minute. She doesn't even use hers.
Don't need it.
It has not done even a full round as a fan. It's as a decoration at this point. Like
That's
it's not even
because her nose
in
is so
use.
blocked up right now from all the other dust.
Oh dear God, I do need to clean mine though. Mine in the living room. I'll clean them all. But like, yes, so like fans in my house. We decided we were getting new fans. Abe installed them all, which by the way, God bless him for not saying this at the time, but I looked at my person the other day. This was not that long ago. And we have had this conversation multiple times, but the fan was going and I'm like, God, we are so stupid. We did not put the right fan in the bedroom. It's an indoor-outdoor fan, first of all. So it's like metal. I just liked it because it kind of looked like a big like palm frond fan.
Oh, like the old school when you have like the Greek god laying and they'd have that font.
Yes, that's what it looks like. But it's huge for my bedroom. Fan is too big for the room and it hangs too low. And my person nearly knocks his head on it. That's how low it hangs.
Oh my.
It's not the right fan. And every time I think about it, I'm like, Abe must have been like, what the fuck are y'all doing with this fan?
Did y'all ask him? Or like...
I had already bought it. It was too late. So he couldn't even have said like...
He probably said something to me.
He probably did.
Like, I hate to admit it, he's right about just about most things.
Well,
and
of course he is.
It makes me so mad because so many times I have to like swallow my tongue and be like, fuck off. Yes, you're fucking right.
I almost wish he would have said something so we could have just swapped it out right then and there. Cause like that's on a list of things is to just get a new fan because it's stupid looking in there. It just looks so stupid. I'm gonna take a picture and send y'all.
Yeah,
I'm gonna send it to y'all. Anyway, so I haven't cleaned that. I have not done anything to it since it was installed 4 years ago. Just FYI. And what we were talking about. Oh, so yeah, we're just talking about the fans and not cleaning them and whatnot. But Calvin, you said you cleaned yours like not that many months ago.
Like 2 months ago. But I was telling you, I was looking up right before bed and I was like, damn, I probably should get to that rather soon. And I want my security deposit back. So I'm pretty sure they're going to check that too.
You know what? I feel like people like the apartment, it's like an apartment complex. I feel like apartment complexes will literally do anything not to give it to you. Like they'll make some shit up. They'll be like, well, like one time, the very last time that I ever lived in an apartment, it was here in Tampa, St. Pete. It was a Clearwater apartment. Then we were moving back to Panama City for that at that time period. And they tried to tell us that there was an infestation of fleas in the apartment from our dog and they couldn't give us the deposit back. Luckily, my at the time husband was still in the Tampa area and he's like, I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna look and see if there's fleas. And they're like, oh, okay. And he did. And he walked in with them and he's like, where's the fleas? And they were like, oh, I guess maybe it's not that bad. He's like, I don't see any fleas. And they were like, okay, here's your deposit back. Like they were gonna just say we had fleas and think that we had left town and couldn't prove it wrong.
I mean, like if there's someone like in the comment section, if you've worked for an apartment complex, they do anything they can to keep the deposit, right? Like, can we all just agree like that they try everything possible to keep that deposit?
That's what I was telling Kelvin. I just feel like they're shady. Sorry if you work for
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm putting you on now.
We live right next to the Everglades, so I'm sure that they can come up with anything.
Right. They'll be like, well, you baited a gator.
Iguana in your toilet.
So Abe literally is on his motorcycle.
Oh, be careful.
Did you?
I pulled over.
Okay.
Oh,
now, are you on your what fancy contraption do you have with your motorcycle?
What?
The fancy contraption that you're talking with us through right now?
Oh, I answered on that, but when I pulled over, I took it out. But I do have Bluetooth built into my helmet.
Literally, he's got Bluetooth. When I just called him, he answered in his freaking headphones.
Wow. Technology.
That's amazing. Where are you?
Frugal Doogles.
Frugal MacDoogal.
We just did a whole thing about that just now.
Don't get me started again. Don't. I can't.
I love it. All right, so real quick, so you can get back on the road because I need my vodka. Do you remember when you installed Holly's ceiling fans in her room? What, 4 years ago?
I do.
Be honest. Did you think that Holly should have those ceiling fans or that ceiling fan in her room? Or did you?
It's the bedroom.
The bedroom.
Particularly, we're speaking about the bedroom one. If you even remember, you might not even remember.
Remembers
Oh,
everything.
no. I remember. I thought No, I think I chose not to vocalize it. But no, I don't think it should be there.
Of course it doesn't! Of course it shouldn't! It's stupid! It's so big! It don't fit! I wish you would have said some shit! Damn!
Why did you say anything?
Because it already seemed like the two of you had... It already seemed like the two of you had struggled so much at picking out fans that you agreed on. So I was like, I'm just gonna shut my mouth and put it down.
We probably had. I have forgot. We probably had. There have probably been some long ass back and forth about these damn fans. It's the worst, Abe. First of all, we had this discussion today. I haven't cleaned it since you installed it. So that happened. Second of all, it's so garishly big in that room. It doesn't fit. It's like an indoor-outdoor fan. I'm mortified.
It totally. And the fan blades are plastic. It's made for outside for sure.
It is. It's made for outside.
Your person seemed to really like it, and it seemed like you guys had struggled picking these fans out. I was just like, I'm gonna just leave it alone because I don't want to cause no shit.
I know. And he would probably manic at the time. Let's all be honest. We now have had. I was telling this to Miguel before we got you on the phone. We have now had multiple conversations about how wrong we were both about the stupid.
All right, we're gonna need to post a picture of this on the Miguel and Holly Insta.
That's fine.
And so what we should do is Holly pick out a ceiling fan, and then for your birthday, January 1, because we're planning on being in St. Pete then.
Oh,
I'm volunteering Abe's services. I'll pay for it. We'll get you a new ceiling fan.
Oh, I just need it installed. We'll get it. I'll just need it installed.
Yeah.
While you're there, I'm also paid for put a light fixture outside that I took down. And I don't have one.
Taco services.
All right, we're just gonna tack 'em on.
I can't help it. I don't know. I can't do that much electrical work. I seal them off, but I can't open them back up. Okay, anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's fine.
Miguel can pay me in motorcycle parts. It's fine.
Oh, good. Miguel's face.
Silence.
Yeah.
Bitch.
We all getting something.
I know. Well, what I'm not getting shit out of this.
I'm gonna give you a hug.
Why don't you buy a little attachment for the bike? How other
a sidecar.
Oh, Abe would never do that.
Sidecar.
Abe, would you want me to have a sidecar?
Not on this motorcycle, but if you'd be interested, we could get a different motorcycle with a sidecar.
You know what? We're out of time right now on the podcast.
Oh,
we've gotta go. Look at that. Abe, love you.
Keep going with that. Keep going with that.
Love you. Please be careful getting home.
I will. Love you too.
Right. Bye.
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 I knew it. That bitch know, because I feel like I remember him being like, I don't know if you're gonna like that in the future, but I'm just
no. Almost immediately after it was up and Abe had left, I was like, we've made a grievous mistake. And I've talked about it before, but he was probably in a high cycle, and I'm gonna tell him today. I'm gonna be like, Miguel said we could get a new fan put in, and I will take the picture.
We're gonna put it on the Miguel and Holly. Put it on the feed, Holly.
Okay.
Which, by the way, the algorithm of Instagram is so shitty right now. So
yes, it is.
I
noticed it too.
On the Miguel and Holly Insta, we post reels, lots of likes, lots of views, and I was like, oh, I'll post a little picture of Kelvin just to say welcome to the fam. It had 8 likes, and I was like, oh, Jesus, what the hell? But I've read
they hate me.
No, it's just they literally don't want to promote static pictures. They only want to do reels or carousels.
I'm sorry, Instagram. I'm not trying to use you with TikTok.
Right.
Okay. Like I use TikTok for that. I don't want two apps that do the same thing. I like TikTok for a reason because mostly I follow people that I don't know.
Right.
I want to see pictures and shit of people that I know on the gram. I want to see like content creators and meet new people on TikTok. It's a different experience. It's not owned by Meta. I don't want it. And so I'm usually only looking at the static feed and it's been the same like 10 posts for the last couple days. I'm like, where's new content?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not being promoted because they want me to look at reels. And I'm not doing it, Instagram.
Yeah. You have to do reels. So I was like, oh.
Maybe I'll post a reel about my fan then.
Oh, actually, yes, you should. Actually,
I should.
Holly, do a reel instead. And then I was thinking, Kelvin, we're going to put a reel together of just like getting to know you of like, hey, it's me, Kelvin, and here's my fiance. We're packing.
Just not everything needs to be a real Instagram. I just
know.
TikTok dance on
right. You'd be like,
right. Right.
So yeah, if you're listening to this, if you would go to the Miguel and Holly Insta, because the and it's also summertime, people are on vacation, but the stats for it have gone down a little bit over the past 2 weeks, and I'm like, what's going on, y'all? I ain't posting for my health. Sorry, not like you have to, but it would just be nice. Sorry, I just get satisfaction out of that. All right, we're done. I need to go.
All right,
Kelvin. Oh,
MacDoogal.
I got a delivery when I get home from MacDoogal.
Hey.
Kelvin, how was your first week?
First week was great. I had so much fun. I honestly, you guys are gonna laugh at this. The only anxiety, you guys know, I haven't had much anxiety about this position, but the only thing that I did get anxious about was, oh my god, they take their clothes off a lot on TikTok. I was like, I don't want to do that.
Oh man!
I was just looking back at your old stuff, and I was like,
we get pretty
comfortable
naked
with that.
Yeah,
pretty naked. Yeah, pretty naked.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've had an amazing time.
Don't worry, we've put we're on hiatus with getting naked, so it's too much too soon for the Charlotte folk.
Yeah. Now, when we do get to headphone karaoke, that'll probably be the spring. We have consequences, and we'll be including you in that.
Good Lord.
So I mean, we'll talk about your comfort level. We're living in a new time.
Right.
So,
oh, we're living in a new time. We actually have to ask you how you feel.
I know. In the past, I'd be like, "Get your naked ass
naked."
I believe there is a clip of me somewhere screaming at Scott Tavlin on the radio in Market 18 in Tampa Bay, Florida, going, "Get your naked ass on that street."
Yes, that's absolutely correct.
Radio show or not, I'd scream at that boy to get naked too. That's Heather.
It's not like we had to do a lot of pushing on him. Okay.
Actually, him and I were texting yesterday. There's this artist called Young Gravy that's become
that's not funny.
Girl,
I didn't mean to laugh at that.
I was like, I just sent him the old man. He was like, "Have you heard of this?" I was like, "No." And I was like, "Well, let me check it out." And this young rapper, just
Young Gravy,
white guy, sort of to me feels very much like a new version of like a Macklemore, maybe, possibly.
Okay.
Very kitschy. Like I haven't explored his catalog or anything, but I was looking at his Instagram, and he had this video where he was like looking at it, and I guess it's like popular song right now that's trending. I don't know what it's called. And he's sitting down, he's looking at the screen, then he gets up, and then the camera, you can just see his pants, and then he walks over and you see him booty shake. Being gay, I'm always looking for that print.
Always.
Yes.
And you could just,
I know y'all do.
It was like just big old print. And I sent it to,
I think I just shot snot out of my nose. Okay.
I sent it back to Scott, and I was like, "Did you see putting this print out?" And then Scott was like, "Well, I may have to do that." And I'm like, "Of course you would. Of course you would. Of course you would." He's always got it out. So anyway, well, Kelvin, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. And when do you actually move here to Charlotte?
I will be there physically July 26th.
Tuesday.
So like a week and some change.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I love it. All right. Holly, what's your social media?
Radio Holly on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram.
Kelvin?
At Kelvin Live, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter as well.
Said everywhere? I think
maybe.
At Miguel Fuller for all of my stuff. Please go take a look at the Miguel and Holly Insta. Holly will be putting a reel up of her big ass, dirty ass fan, so we can see all the particles together.
Yep.
And also make sure to check out Miguel and Holly other podcast, The Full Show. It's wherever you listen to podcasts, and Blown Off is wherever you ever listen to podcasts. Give us a rating, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the iHeart Radio app or anywhere you listen to podcasts.